something that somebody spent like a lot of time, years on, and to say it's $100, $200, something like that. They're not all winners. It's true, but people can't complain on that. But I can't tell you too. But now you got to keep it under 50 or 50 and above, blah blah. And it changes because I was looking at seeds earlier today, and there was like 2 pages worth of like $30 seeds.
Right.
Like 10 packs.
Right.
They look great, but they might just not be like smoke grade or like put out grade or just
might not be the output that you're looking
not
for.
Even they just I don't know, maybe it smells like dumpster fire garbage, but I think it's a specific type of terp. You know what I'm talking about when it's like like dumpster fire, just rubber, that real nasty type terps, which I like from time to time.
Baby shit is good terminology. Yeah.
Cat piss.
Cat piss is a nice one as well.
So yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to make sure that those end up continue to be spread, and that's what I see. Just continuing, D-Traders is maintaining to be a platform for genetic breeders and enthusiasts to continue to spread those seeds.
Nice.
Pun intended. Spread the seed.
So this industry is growing fast, and there's going to be a lot of younger generation that are trying to get into this industry. And what 3 things would you tell them to help them out?
First and foremost, show up. It sounds simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 words.
Being on time.
Show up.
Okay.
So I think that's part. I want to be on time. Show up.
Okay. Number 2.
It's not a magic trick.
What do you mean by that? Let's give them a walk through that, because at the end of the day, people have to understand that you have to have tenacity, and it's not going to be something where you jump in and all of a sudden you're in your string, you're making all this money. So break that down for them so they can understand as far as
for a lot of people that are not right, these are the ones we're talking about.
Right.
That
they're trying to get in.
Right. Even I'm going to admit it, even myself. Right. I was at the very end of the cannabis plant.
Right.
At the package, it's already back. I popped it back in the day when we had the Mexican brick and popping all the seeds out.
Okay.
So somebody's got to pop those seeds out while somebody else guts the Philly or the Garza Vega, and whatever, right? It just appeared. We didn't know anything about growing it or keeping the males away, or how they end up being outside versus inside, how we end up actually drying, curing, drying, like all that stuff, how this all ends up giving you the final product that you have then. That once you actually first do it, the first time that you do it,
mm-hmm.
you understand why it costs what it costs sometimes.
Okay.
Right from the beginning.
Okay.
So people want to get in, right? I say it's not a magic show, right? It's not a magic trick. Mm-hmm. Just you get in, right? You want to own a big gigantic cultivation site. Mm-hmm. You got to know how to grow. Start growing, mm-hmm. right? You want to do edibles. Start doing edibles, right? These are all businesses, no different than doing a bakery or stuff like that. There are now you're dealing with one component, right? But it doesn't make it magic,
right?
So it's still a cupcake.
So
you still gotta bake it. You still gotta like that. It's still a plant. You still gotta put a seed in. You gotta sprout it. You gotta grow it. It's not magic.
Right. So you're saying do the work, show up, and what's number 3?
Have heart.
Okay.
That's something I'm learning as I get gain more experience in life. That just because it's a big bag, just because it's a big amount of money, doesn't mean you have to do it. Because you could end up collecting on that money, but you did somebody dirty to do it. Not like violent or anything like that, but just maybe in business ethics or, like that, yeah, you might not get like the gigantic bag, or maybe, maybe it's not that specific big bag isn't for you. Maybe the next big bag is for you.
So have ethics behind what you do.
Have heart.
Okay.
I think that yeah, it is like, don't get me wrong. You do your thing, make your money. I can't, like you're a hustler, from the streets, like you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. You can't be, have a brave heart, because you don't want to be all heart either.
Okay.
Being all heart, in my opinion, is just a matter of time before somebody just takes advantage of you.
Okay. Being that, you're in the industry and, you come from the ethnic background, how is it that you give back to the community?
Every time I feel like, every time I hear that whole, like, these specific categories, like, ethnic background, I feel like I should like pull out like a dish ethnic dish out of nowhere. Like it's like every single time, so. Well, it's I learned. I was in the Army for 8 years as well.
Okay.
I learned that. Me personally, I'm just kind of odd in a way. I'm not thinking the same way. I'm not looking at things the same way. That's what makes me good at the jobs that I do. That I start looking out, through my, my past, as far as past jobs. What type of jobs have I been good at? Those end up, lining up specific skill sets.
Right.
Shit.
It's okay.
What's the question?
The question is, as far as how do you give back to those who are not in a good position? How do you give back? How does Gene Trainers give back to those who are in less fortunate situations? What do you do as that? Do you do any kind of charity work or anything like that currently? No,
Gene Trainers is just to keep it as pure as possible like that. We're just a platform. That's it. Like what as far as like D9 Lux or Terps and Trikes, and me personally, that's a different story. That from mentorship programs to providing like art spaces for urban artists, soup kitchens. The biggest thing that I really want to do, I want to end up actually somehow figuring out how to open up a school somewhere. Nice. Somewhere in the world,
Nice.
Like, so I think,
education.
Yeah, I think the spread of that and actually, like, pushing forward, just it's like the butterfly effect.
Okay.
Right? I don't know what kid might end up going to. They might not ever know anything much about me except that I just paid for the school so they can end up being educated, right? But who knows? That young kid can end up leading the next country, or you just never know.
Right.
I am totally fine with that.
Okay.
It's not about the recognition. It's just about causing that opportunity to spring those chain of events in thought, right? Because certain things have to happen in order for people to see that and think about that.
Okay. So let's talk about legacy in a sense, right? Maybe in 40 years from now, what do you want to leave behind? What do you want to leave Gene Traders like? What is the legacy of Gene Traders in 40 years?
For Gene Traders, I'm going to say that it's just still just a platform. That's what I always want. It's going to probably have its own genetics, its own line of genetics like that, but to maintain, excuse me, that's if I still own it. Right? Because, who knows?
What about you personally, as far as what do you want to leave as your legacy?
Oh, man. That I've tried to help as many people, as many young people, younger than me, always younger than me, as much as possible, to give them a shortcut. Give them give them a piece of advice to don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that, those little things are just passing it on. That's how we end up actually just making the ones before us as a minority, as even somebody just from the same neighborhood as you, just multiple colors. Like we all came from the same thing. To tell the next dude that this is how you end up jumping out. Great.
Okay. So I like that. Giving back to those who are younger than you, so they can have a future as well. So I know you have an event coming up. You want to give a plug on that? Plug your event coming up, your social. So,
by the time this comes out, Gene Traders is going to be on November 22nd, but we hold 3 to 4 events a year. Come 2021, we're going to end up expanding to different parts of the country. Next one, probably in the East Coast, will probably be late January.
What's your social they can follow you on?
Either at Lupino420 or at Gene Traders or gene-traders.com for the website. And this Delta 8 is weird.
I appreciate that.
It's I ended up, if we get the video dope, but for the audio too, he gave me this tea with Delta 8, and it's I feel kind of bouncy, but not euphoric.
Right on.
That's coming from the joint with the worm I end up with, so I'm feeling but this, But I see, that's the thing though, this comes from the experience of being within the industry. This has not been, and maybe just continue, push on, man. People just, maybe you should add 4 to those 3. What I want to tell, you got to. This takes time.
It does.
This isn't magic. It's not a magic show. Not a magic show.
So we want to thank you for tuning in to Terps of the Beast Coast. We post every second Friday of the month. So thank you again. Don't forget to subscribe and share and leave a comment if you enjoyed.